We're asking, do you believe in UFOs? The reason that we're asking this is because most recently there has been reports in Texas that there were some sightings of which people could not explain their origins. Just last week, outside of Philadelphia, there were a couple of reports to local police officers that there was some sort of unexplained object hovering over a closed restaurant. We want to know if you've ever had an experience that you just can't explain away, and whether or not you think that there are UFOs or whether there are reasonable explanations for things that we wonder about. If you're on the telephone line, be patient. I'm going to come to you in just a moment, but I do want to introduce the rest of our panel. Dr. Theodore Schick, Jr. is a professor at Muhlenberg College, as well as the author of How to Think About Weird Things, Critical Thinking for a New Age. From our Washington, D.C. studios, we're joined by Stephen Bassett, who is the executive director of the Paradigm Research Group and the Political Action Committee, XPAC. Also there is Robert Park. He is a professor of physics at the University of Maryland. He too is an author. His book is called Voodoo Science, The Road from Foolishness to Fraud. And of course they join our guest in Phoenix, who is Lynn, who has written a book called Phoenix Lights. Everyone, thank you so much for being with us. Good to have you here.
You're welcome, Lynn.
I do want to start with Stephen. If you could tell me if you feel that there's some legitimacy to these encounters that people have recorded?
Oh, the work that I'm doing and my colleagues through PRG and other groups is way past the issue of contact and sightings. As far as we're concerned, the presence of extraterrestrials engaging this planet is a certainty. It was proven a long time ago, and it's been reproven many times by the work of thousands of researchers. There is a massive amount of evidence for it. I've had people in the government confirm the ET presence to me. I've had colleagues who have had people in government confirm it to them. As far as the contact reports, there are tens of thousands of reports like Will Boucher's that are accumulating in the files of researchers.
So having said that, since there is a mound of evidence, as you put it, why is this topic met with such skepticism?
Complex story, short answer. The government chose to embargo acknowledgement of this issue. This decision was made back in the late 40s, early 50s. And they instituted what some people call the UFO cover-up. I prefer to call it the truth embargo. They embargoed the acknowledgement of this for national security reasons and for other considerations. And that embargo is still in place 60 years later. And so what we're trying to do is convince the government to change this policy, end this embargo, and announce the ET presence to the American people. If it doesn't, another country will do that.
Let's ask our viewers if they agree with that. Do you think that there is a presence of ET, as Stephen refers to it, or are you not buying any of it? If you want to join in, I'm going to take your calls in just a second, but I want to turn to Professor Schick here and get his perspective on this. Do you doubt that people have had these encounters, or that there is mountains of evidence, as Stephen suggests?
No, absolutely. These experiences are real. People have these experiences, both experiences of unidentified flying objects, experiences of being abducted, and so forth. The question is, of course, what's the best explanation of those sorts of experiences?
Yeah, because they're not one singular experience. It sounds like from the callers who are already calling in, the emails that we are already receiving, that there have been a wide variety and types of encounters.
Right. So there certainly is a wide variety of experiences. A number of different people from all different walks of life, all different professions have had these sorts of experiences. The people that have them are not crazy. They're not insane. They have normal jobs just like you and me. So I don't think we can chalk this up to some sort of craziness or some sort of malfunctioning of the brain.
Well,
or
I'm not sure that you and I have normal jobs. my job, I'm talking about UFOs on live television, so I'm not sure I qualify for normal. But we'll give people an opportunity to tell us what they think about that. But I want to bring Bob in. Bob, good to have you with us. Thanks for your patience this hour.
Pleasure to be here.
So what's your take on this? Is it voodoo science? Are we being silly to think that there are aliens or others living out there in the universe?
Yeah, we're being pretty silly. They're certainly seeing something. There's no doubt about that. But to jump from seeing something you don't understand to visits by aliens is a huge, huge leap. And we just never get a picture of an alien. We never even get a good picture of their spaceships. They're always a little fuzzy. So no, they're seeing something. All kinds of different things. Who among us has not seen things in the sky we didn't understand? Who
Lynn?
hasn't seen some strange figure on the side of the road in the dusk? And when we get closer, it turns into a bush.